I volunteered for like 4 years as a crisis call counselor, and I started getting involved. In the 80s was a big recovery movement, and there was a 12-step for everything. And I think on one of my retreats that I was on, someone actually asked me, they said, you know, are you a therapist and are you practicing? And I laughed, ha ha ha. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, gosh, I could get paid to do this. And actually went back to school and became a licensed clinical social worker and worked in town as a psychotherapist for almost a decade first. And then kind of decided, am I done? It'd be nice to be able to add prescribing privileges onto that, and went back to school so that I could do that as well. And it was a nice marriage. It's a nice blend of the two. I think one of the things that I find interesting about what I do is that I think people have a story. Everyone has a story. What's your story? How did you get here? And I find that is what keeps me engaged, is that every single person I meet is a new story. And my grandmother always used to say, everyone could write a book if they just had the know-how. And I think it's my job to kind of pull out the know-how a little bit and to string it together. My therapy sometimes is sitting and playing music. Acoustic guitar is my favorite. My favorite place to play it is on my front porch, on my porch swing. I know that sounds totally maybe southern and cliche, but it truly is one of my most favorite places to be. And also, my daughters both sing, so sometimes they'll sing with me. And to me, that is good stuff right there. That's my therapy. Because I have a passion for mental health and for psychiatry, I don't think of the stigma, but it still does live, and people do have some fears about coming to see a mental health provider, especially in a medical practice or a pain practice. And often, for me, my approach is pretty conversational. You know, there's nothing really frightening about it. It is really assessing how you're coping with life, how you're coping with pain. What's the source of pain? How long have you been dealing with pain? What are your stressors? What are the supports that you have in your life? I mean, it really builds a big picture.